hope I got this right.
For as far back as I can remember, my dad has talked about wanting to go on a hot air balloon ride someday. Well, in early 2020, someday finally arrived.
Okay, we're going to blast up out of here while there's still gaps in the cloud, and then it's going to blow us back out onto the plane.
It's a surreal feeling, being suspended above the clouds by little more than a bubble of hot air, enveloped in a gossamer layer of nylon.
See that? We'll get above this cloud and we'll get a better view.
The only thing between you and 3,000 feet of open air is a bunch of woven sticks. Hot air balloon baskets tend to be made of woven willow branches, as they're light, strong, and good at absorbing impact when landing.
New Zealand sunrise. Ooh. If you look way in the distance, you'll see some of the glaciers on the mountains. That is the very centre of the Southern Alps with the main divide. Once you go over those, you're going over onto the east coast. And feel that breeze?
Yeah.
Going on a different wind change.
When I asked where his inspiration for wanting to float so high up in the air came from, my dad said that he'd loved the idea of flying since he was a boy.
So how high can this balloon go?
How high do you want to go? Stratosphere? Yeah, easy.
Much of the appeal came from films such as Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and classics like Tom Sawyer Abroad by Mark Twain and Around the World in 80 Days, written by Jules Verne. As his name might telegraph, Mr. Verne was a Frenchman.
It's a bit surreal. Yeah.
He wrote his now famous novel in the 1870s, roughly 100 years after the age of flight began, signaled by the liftoff of the first occupied hot air balloon in 1783.
It's been very hazy the last few days as well. I don't think it's the Australian smoke.
I use the word occupied instead of manned because on board the prototype balloon was a sheep, a duck, and a rooster.
What do you think, Dad?
Absolutely surreal.
He's been talking about this for as long as I can remember. Finally getting to do it.
Engineered by the Montgolfier brothers, this, and flights that soon followed, were witnessed by none other than King Louis XVI, Queen Marie Antoinette, and then U.S. Ambassador to France, Benjamin Franklin.
So if you're going to go to Kaikoura, you go in this direction. Out under the sun over there, it's very hard to see, but there are some hills there. You just make out some dark. That's Banks Peninsula. Banks Peninsula are 3 extinct volcanoes that stick out off the east coast of the South Island.
Almost forgot.
This is awesome.
Ironically, it's plausible that at least one of the daredevil livestock aboard the historic balloon flight may have outlived the famous trio of onlookers, as the end of the coming decade would prove to be unkind.
And we are 3,000 feet off the ground in a wicker basket.
With soft spots.
No.
That can boast to it.
Thoughts, Dad?
Not a one. It's just so peaceful and serene.
Does it meet your expectations of what you thought it was going to be?
Even better.
Can you elaborate?
It's just so surreal.
I get it.
Yeah, you get it, huh?
Woo! You stand right, you stand up. Stand up right out there. Stand right up. Tall, stand tall. Oh, okay. You're right. Where the land stops, that's actually where the coast is.
Both Louis and Marie were famously executed in 1793 during the French Revolution, and good old Ben passed away in 1790 of natural causes. Exactly how long the sheep lived has been lost in the mists of time, but I think it would be kind of funny if it ended up being the last man standing.
See the hares running across the paddock over here? All the hares.
Yeah,
There's another one there.
cool.
And you're going to get some good shadow shots now too.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's like a bunk bed.
I'm good.
You're good?
Oh yeah.
Want a hand?
All I need is a pillow. I got Wi-Fi and everything.
Woo! Oh, we go. Okay, so we have champagne and we have fruit juice, or we can do a mix. We call that a Bucks Fizz or a Marmousa. Don't drink any yet. We have a little something else we're going to do.
I'll go with a
Well
mimosa.
done, guys, on Mimosa. I'll leave a bit of room for that. There we go.
One of my favorite drinks, actually, mimosas. It's kind of a cool tradition.
Yeah, absolutely. What's neat about Pilo Rossier?
Okay, we do a little something now called the balloonist prayer. The balloonist prayer. The winds have welcomed you with softness. The sun has warmed you with its warm hands. You have flown so high and so well that your God has joined you in laughter and laid you back with the loving arms of Mother Earth. Congratulations. You're now officially balloonatics.
That's just it.
Lunatic.